Good day, my friends in faith. Today, I need to share a strong message that God is talking straightforwardly to your heart. In this way, wipe those tears away, take a full breath, and we should jump into the unbelievable love and consolation that God has for all of us. God is sharing with you today. Wipe those tears. Take a full breath and return that confidence to your heart. I have you. Relax. I'm dependably on time. Type Amen if you believe. Might you at any point envision the size of those words? The maker of the universe, the all-powerful God himself, is talking straightforwardly to you. He sees your battles, your aggravation, and your concerns. In any case, he believes you should realize that he takes care of you. His affection and devotion are unfaltering. What's more, how do we have any idea this? Through Jesus Christ, his child. Jesus arrived at this world as an encouraging sign, an epitome of God's affection for us. He forfeited himself on that cross so we could be excused and have timeless life. As Christians, we track down comfort in the expression of God. The good book is loaded up with endless stanzas that help us to remember God's commitments and favors. One such refrain is Jeremiah 29:11, which says, "For I know the plans I have for you," proclaims the ruler. Plans to flourish you and not to hurt you. Plans to give you trust and a future. Isn't it astonishing to realize that God has an arrangement for every last one of us? Indeed, even in our most obscure minutes, he is working in the background to achieve something lovely in our lives. Furthermore, discussing endowments, we should not fail to remember the innumerable ways God favors us every day. It very well may be a straightforward, thoughtful gesture from a more bizarre, a leap forward in our vocations, or a caring relationship that gives us pleasure. These gifts are not simple fortuitous events. They are heavenly intercessions arranged by our brilliant Dad. Thus, my companions, as you approach your day, recollect this strong message from God. Wipe those tears, take a full breath, and set that confidence back in your heart. God has you. He's consistently on time. Trust in him, stick to his commitments, and watch as he unfurls favors beyond anything you could ever imagine. The mind-blowing affection and elegance of our ruler Jesus Christ. Jesus had a deep understanding of the people who might sell out him, deny him, and dissipate in dread. However, he picked them in any case. In any case, he adored them. What's more, that is the wonderful message I need to discuss today. In the good book, we read about Jesus enduring affection for his pupils. He realized Judas would deceive him. However, he actually washed his feet and called him a companion. Could you at any point envision that sort of adoration? It's awesome. It shows us that being a Christian isn't about how others decide to live around us. It's about our own relationship with Jesus. At times, we might feel deterred when we see others flounder in their confidence or settle on decisions that don't line up with God's promise. In any case, listen to this. Our confidence shouldn't rely upon the confidence of others. Our confidence comes from knowing and encountering Jesus' most memorable love for us. At the point when we perceive the truth about him, we are in every case okay. Jesus' message is clear. Regardless of what you've done or how far you've wandered, his affection is genuine. He pardons, he reestablishes, and he favors us plentifully. In Matthew 11:28, Jesus expresses, "Come to me, all you who are fatigued and troubled, and I will give you rest." Isn't so mind-boggling? Regardless of what battles we face or slip-ups we've made, Jesus is generally there to offer us rest and harmony. In this way, My dear companions, we should recall that our confidence isn't about flawlessness or the activities of people around us. It's tied in with embracing Jesus' adoration and beauty, and permitting it to change our lives. At the point when we center around Him, we track down strength, trust, and reason in each season. I urge you today to jump into the expression of God, invest energy in petition, and look for a more profound relationship with Jesus. Let His message of affection reverberate in your heart and guide all your means. Keep in mind, regardless of what you're going through, Jesus is with you. He is for you, and His affection is steady. Thus, we should walk certainly in His beauty and offer this mind-blowing message of trust with the world. Indeed, even Jesus Himself felt overpowered on occasion. In the good book, we read about how He confronted enormous difficulties and snapshots of profound pain. Be that as it may, here's the wonderful part. God never deserted Him. Also, He won't leave you, all things considered. Recall Moses and Elijah. These amazing men of confidence likewise arrived where they didn't figure they could go on. Yet, prepare to have your mind blown. God appeared for them. He sent holy messengers to fortify them and offer the help they expected to continue onward. Also, that is precisely the exact thing God believes should accomplish for you. He sees your exhaustion, your battles, and your questions. In any case, He likewise sees your confidence and your assurance to continue to push forward. Thus, accept me when I say that the perfect individuals will make an appearance in your life. You may be thinking about how I can be 100% certain of this. Indeed, this is on the grounds that the book of Scriptures lets us know that God invigorates the exhausted. In Isaiah 40:29, it says, He invigorates the fatigued and builds the force of the feeble. Isn't unreasonably astonishing? God is prepared to empty His solidarity into you. Along these lines, my dear family in Christ, hang on close to your confidence, trust in God's commitments, and realize that He is with you constantly. In any event, when it seems like you can't go on, recall that God's affection and beauty are ceaseless. Taking everything into account, my message today is basic yet significant. God sees you, He knows your battles, and He will fortify you. In this way, embrace His affection, look for His direction, and trust that favors are coming. You know, there are times in our lives when we feel overpowered by agony and languishing. We might address on the off chance that God sees our battles, assuming He really comprehends what we're going through. In any case, try to keep your hat on, my companions. God sees everything. He knows our aggravation, and He thinks often profoundly about us. In those snapshots of uncertainty and depression, God accomplishes something so unprecedented, so private, that it leaves us in amazement. It resembles a delicate update from Him that He is God, and there could be no other. It's an update that He is dependably with us, even in the haziest of times. My companions, God's affection for us is vast. He sent His solitary child, Jesus Christ, to save us from our wrongdoings. Jesus arrived at this world to show us the way, reality, and the life through His lessons and penance. He carried trust and reclamation to all who put stock in Him. Also, here's the lovely part. God addresses us through His promise, the good book. It resembles an affection letter from Him, loaded up with commitments and gifts for His youngsters. In the Holy Book, we find endless sections that help us to remember God's affection and loyalty. One of my number one stanzas is Jeremiah 29:11, which says, For I know the plans I have for you, proclaims the Master, plans to flourish you and not to hurt you, plans to give you trust and a future. This section advises me that God has a reason for all of us. He has plans to favor us and give us a future loaded up with trust. At the point when God follows through with something so significantly private in our lives, it resembles a murmured message from Him. It's an update that He is consistently there, working in the background, coordinating marvels that we may not actually know about. Along these lines, my companions, assuming you've encountered something like this, clutch that second, value it, and offer it with other people who might have to hear it, since when God accomplishes something so phenomenal, so private, it's a declaration to His affection and power. Keep in mind, my companions, God sees your aggravation, He knows your battles, and He thinks often profoundly about you. Trust in Him. Look for His direction through His promise, and consistently recollect that He is God, and there could be no other. I trust this message brings you trust and consolation today, in the event that you've had a comparable involvement in God's own touch in your life. I couldn't want anything more than to catch wind of it in the remarks underneath. A large number of us carry on with life looking for satisfaction and love in every one of some unacceptable spots. We shift focus over to simple humans, trusting they can meet our most profound requirements and wants. Yet, actually, no one but Jesus can really make up for those shortcomings inside us. God is addressing us through His promise, and He's expressing that until we make Jesus our most memorable love, we'll constantly be left needing more. We'll keep on pursuing impermanent joys and connections that can never fulfill our spirits. Be that as it may, when we shift our concentration and make Jesus Christ the focal point of our lives, something fantastic occurs. We become prepared for a romantic tale that mirrors His brilliance. Jesus isn't simply any conventional man. He is the epitome of affection, elegance, and penance. In the good book, Matthew 20-37 helps us to remember God's most noteworthy decree. Love the ruler your God with everything that is in you and with your entire existence and with all your psyche. This stanza urges us to focus on our relationship with Jesus, regardless of anything else. At the point when we do this, when we give our hearts over to Him totally, we free ourselves up to a universe of gifts. God spills out His adoration upon us in manners we would never envision. He directs our means, accommodates our requirements, and fills us with an unbelievable bliss. So today, I need to urge you to analyze your heart. Is Jesus really the fixation of your heart? Have you made Him your most memorable love? In the event that not, it's never beyond any good time to begin. Open up your book of scriptures, jump into His promise, and look for Him with everything that is in you. Keep in mind, my companions, when Jesus turns into the focal point of our lives, all the other things get sorted out. So we should commit to a responsibility today to seek after Him earnestly and experience a romantic tale that mirrors His magnificence. Keep in mind, you are adored, treasured, and picked by God. May His message reverberate inside your souls today. Remain favored, my companions. At the point when God needed to communicate exactly the amount He adores us, He didn't agree to anything short of flawlessness. He really wanted somebody who could encapsulate His affection, His sympathy, and His effortlessness. What's more, that somebody was Jesus Christ. Jesus came into this world as both completely God and completely human. He strolled among us, sharing His message of adoration, absolution, and salvation. He told us the best way to carry on with a day-to-day existence satisfying to God, and how to cherish each other genuinely. My companions, You are God's adoration letter to other people. He needs to involve your life as a declaration of His integrity and benevolence. He needs to deal with you to contact the hearts of people around you. Every single one of us has a novel reason in this world, and that design is to mirror the adoration for Jesus Christ. It's tied in with being benevolent, sympathetic, and excusing. It's tied in with stretching out some assistance to those out of luck and being a wellspring of support and trust. The book of Scriptures lets us know in John 13:34-35, "Another order I give you, love each other. As I have cherished you, so you should adore each other. By this everybody will realize that you are my pupils, assuming you love each other." Isn't excessively lovely? By cherishing each other, we become living declarations of God's affection. We become His couriers, spreading His message of trust and recovery. What's more, the astonishing thing is the point at which we permit God to deal with us. We favor others, however we likewise experience His endowments in our own lives. It's a mutually beneficial arrangement. Along these lines, my companions, I urge you today to embrace your job as God's adoration letter to other people. Allow your life to be a living demonstration of His adoration and effortlessness. Share His message with certainty and impressive skill, realizing that you are having an effect in the existences of people around you. Keep in mind, you are adored, unfathomable. You are valued by the Maker of the universe. So go out there and be the affection that this world so frantically needs. At the point when I open up my heart to God, it's staggering the way that He generally tunes in so mindfully. Whether I'm discussing serious issues and large convictions, or just sharing about my day, my own life, or even my fantasies for the future, He's there, completely present. It resembles having the most astonishing discussion with somebody who genuinely minds. You know, it's not just about the large things throughout everyday life. God is keen on each part of our lives, the common things as well. Whether it's examining the climate or discussing our number one side interests, He needs to be at peace, all things considered. It's such a soothing inclination to realize that I can carry anything to Him, regardless of how large or little. Also, talking about discussions with God, have you at any point considered what His message is for us? Indeed, you will scarcely believe, everything revolves around affection, effortlessness, and trust. God believes that us should carry on with our lives with reason and significance. He maintains that us should embrace each open door we emphatically affect others. In the book of Scriptures, Jesus Christ shows us such a great amount about sympathy and pardoning. One of my number one stanzas is Matthew 20:37-39, where Jesus says, "Love the Master your God with everything that is in you and with your entire existence and with all your brain." This is the first and most prominent rule. Furthermore, the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. At the point when we really comprehend this message, it makes a huge difference. It assists us with seeing others through God's eyes and treat them with benevolence and regard. It advises us that we are undeniably associated, and that our activities have the ability to bring endowments into others' lives. In this way, my companions, we should recall that request isn't simply a single-direction road. It's a discussion among us and our Maker, a discussion that can be tied in with everything under the sun. It's tied in with building a profound and individual relationship with God, where we can track down solace, direction, and strength. Have you at any point contemplated whether there would someone is out there who is intended for you? Somebody who will come into your life and bring you harmony, love, and satisfaction. All things considered, I have a directive for you today. directly from God Himself. God is saying that when He sends you the perfect individual, you will be aware. They won't come into your existence with show, disarray, and stress, all things considered. They will accompany harmony, affirmation, and love. They will check out at your spirit, not your imperfections. God knows precisely very thing you want and when you want it. He knows your deepest longings and He needs to richly favor you. That is the reason He sends the perfect individual with flawless timing. It may not necessarily in every case happen when or how you anticipate that it should, yet trust in His amazing luck. In the good book, we find out about the adoration for God through His child Jesus Christ. Jesus arrived at this world to show us the way, reality, and the life. He showed us pardoning, sympathy, and unqualified love. He told us the best way to carry on with a daily existence that is satisfying to God. As Christians, we are called to continue in the strides of Jesus. We are called to adore each other as He has cherished us. Also, when God sends us the ideal individual, they will mirror that adoration back to us. They will carry us nearer to God and assist us with filling in our confidence. Be that as it may, how would we perceive this individual? Indeed, God has given us a delightful gift called wisdom. At the point when somebody comes into your life and they line up with God's arrangement for you, you will have a good sense of reassurance and acquainted with them. There will be a feeling of harmony and bliss in their presence. So when God sends you the perfect individual, clutch them, value them, love them with everything that is in you. They are a gift from God, and they are intended to be a piece of your excursion. Together, you can energize and uphold each other as you walk this way of confidence. Keep in mind, God's affection for you is endless. He needs only awesome for you. So trust in His arrangement, trust in His timing, and trust that when the perfect individual comes into your life, it is a heavenly arrangement. You know, in some cases life can feel like an endless race, where we're continually pursuing our fantasies and wants. We hurry through seasons, frantically attempting to get things going on our own timetable. However, here's reality. God isn't in a rush. He has an ideal arrangement for all of us, and it unfurls in His amazing luck. It's so natural to become involved with the buzzing about of life, feeling drained, restless, focused, and frustrated. In any case, this is the thing God believes you should be aware. Trust that what was intended to be yours can't avoid being yours. Trust in His heavenly direction and give your concerns over to Him. He understands what's best for you. Amidst our restlessness, we frequently disregard the endowments that encompass us. We become so consumed with what we don't as yet have that we neglect to see the value in what we do have. Yet, God is calling us to move our point of view, to zero in on the current second and track down happiness in His plentiful favors. Jesus Christ, our friend in need, showed us through His life and lessons that genuine satisfaction comes from falling in line with God's will. At the point when we place our confidence in Him and give our arrangements over to His heavenly motivation, we discover a lasting sense of reconciliation past comprehension. Recollect the expressions of Matthew 6:33. However, look for first His realm and His exemplary nature, and everything will be given to you too. When we focus on our relationship with God regardless of anything else, when we look for His direction and live as indicated by His standards, He favors us richly. In this way, my dear companions, don't rush the season. Embrace the excursion and have confidence that God's timing is awesome. Believe that He is working in the background, arranging everything about your life. Pause for a minute to inhale, to rest in His presence, and to find comfort in realizing that you are cherished unimaginable. Have you at any point felt like God is far off, like He's just present at the times of happiness and overflow, while abandoning you in the quietness and battles? Indeed, let me let you know something. God is in the pausing. He's not simply tracked down in your gifts, addressed petitions, and marvels. He's in that general area with you in your snapshots of quietness. In those minutes while you're chasing, asking, and giving up, God is there. He's standing by, listening to each word you express, every idea that enters your thoughts. He's not overlooking you. He's just showing you persistence and trust. God addresses us through His promise, the Holy Book. It's loaded up with His messages of affection, direction, and commitments. In the Book of Hymns, Part 46, stanza 10, it says, "Be still and realize that I am God." This section reminds us to track down comfort in the tranquility, to calm our psyches and hearts so we can hear His voice. At the point when we ask, we're not simply conversing with the air, we're speaking with our eminent Dad. Regardless of whether we see or feel His presence right away, we can be sure that He is with us. He won't ever neglect us. He won't ever change. Also, what might be said about those tough situations, the minutes, and life feels overpowering and it appears as though there's no chance to get out? Indeed, let me let you know something. God is not too far off in that frame of mind. All things considered, He's holding your hand, directing you through the tempest. You may not comprehend the reason why you're going through the thing you're going through. However, God has an arrangement. He's utilizing those troublesome minutes to shape you, to reinforce your confidence, and to attract you nearer to Him. Yet, we should not fail to remember the gifts God showers us with His affection and elegance each and every day. From the littlest snapshots of delight to the greatest wonders, He is continually working in our lives. Thus, my companions, recall this: God is in the pausing. He's not simply tracked down in your favors, addressed supplications, and marvels. He's in your snapshots of quietness. He's in the looking for, asking, and giving up. He's in the difficult situations. Regardless of whether you see or feel it, the ruler is with you and He won't ever spurn you. You know, some of the time, we wind up taking off from things or stowing away from reality. We attempt to get away from our concerns or try not to confront the truth of our circumstances. In any case, consider this: assuming something genuinely comes from God, it will find us regardless of how far we run or how well we stow away. God's message is one of adoration, absolution, and reclamation. He sent His child, Jesus Christ, to convey this message to us. Jesus came to show us the way, reality, and the life. He showed us empathy, benevolence, and the authentic significance. In the Christian confidence, we go to the Holy Book for direction and motivation. An assortment of God's words and lessons have been gone down through ages. One stanza that reverberates profoundly with me is Jeremiah 29:11. According to it, "For I know the plans I have for you," pronounces the Master, "plans to succeed you and not to hurt you, plans to give you trust and a future." Isn't excessively staggering? God has plans for all of us, plans that are loaded up with favors and reason. In any case, here's the trick: we can't drive these designs to occur, regardless of how enthusiastically you attempt or the amount we push. On the off chance that it's not piece of God's arrangement, it won't ever work. So rather than attempting to drive things into our lives, how about we give ourselves over to God's will? How about we confide in His timing and His ideal arrangement for us? At the point when we conform to God's message and His motivation for our lives, astonishing things begin to occur. We start to encounter endowments that we never imagined, entryways open, valuable open doors emerge, and we end up encompassed by adoration and bliss. It's a wonderful excursion, my companions. And everything begins with tolerating God's message and embracing Jesus Christ as our hero. Keep in mind, on the off chance that something comes from God, it will track down you. So go ahead and let go of control and give up to His heavenly arrangement. Trust in His message and watch as your life changes in manners you won't ever envision.